Alright, we back, y'all. And we getting ready to get into the unexplained zone. You know how we do over here. It's your boy. It's your boy E, man. We gonna do some reactions to my man Jet Ski. And we gonna see what's in the creepy vote. You know how he do. We get deep down and dirty. And when we can't explain it, we ask Mama to explain it. So let's see what we got.
The most disturbing things ever said by astronauts. In 2003, Chinese astronaut Yang Liwei was the first person from China to go to space. He was sent up all alone when suddenly at one point during the mission, he hears a knocking sound on the outside of his spaceship. He recalls it as someone knocking the body of the spaceship, like hitting an iron bucket with a wooden hammer. He wasn't even able to recreate it, and to this day, experts have no idea what it could have been. During the Apollo 11 mission in 1969, when Neil and Buzz were on the lunar surface, Neil Armstrong unexpectedly switches to a medical communication channel and spoke directly to the chief medical officer, saying, and I quote, "They're here, they're parked on the side of the crater, they're watching us." This was revealed in a documentary by former NASA employee Ken Johnston, but the original recordings are of course highly classified. Rumored to be a part of the infamous Apollo 11 missing 2 minutes, where on record Mission Control lost radio contact with the astronauts due to technical difficulties. In another 1995 documentary interview, former NASA astronaut Franklin Story Musgrave claimed to have been followed by a white 8-foot-long snake floating through space, saying, quote, "On 2 of my missions, and I still don't have an answer, I have seen a snake out there, 6, 7, 8 feet long. He said it appeared rubbery and followed him for quite a long time, floating in or near Earth's stratosphere." In the same interview, Musgrave also cryptically states that other civilizations have been around for millions of years that are doing unimaginable kinds of things. But you know, they were probably all just joking. The most disturbing things ever said by astronauts.
Don't believe everything you hear on this video. This is strictly for entertainment purposes only. It's not factual.
If you see one of these
What he said.
hanging from someone's bag, run. Oh, sorry, I meant these. Turns out they might be kinda demonic, so this is everything you need to know about the Labubu demon theory in 1 minute. These collectible toys called Labubus have been going crazy viral after a few celebrities were seen hanging them off their purses, and so everyone wanted one. They are these weird stuffed creatures with sharp teeth, evil grins, and angry-looking eyes that can also be red. Not suspicious at all, right? Then many people came out online saying weird shit started happening right after they bought theirs. Stories of objects moving around their house, waking up with scratches, getting sick, and experiencing chest pains. One girl claimed she saw the eyes change color and this smile get wider. Another got in a car accident shortly after buying one. Either way, everyone just felt a creepy, unsettling presence around these toys for some reason. Well, now similarities are being drawn between the name Labubu and a demonic deity from Babylonian mythology called Pazuzu, who's known as the King of the Demons and is often depicted with animal features, sharp teeth, a grinning smile, and long ears. Looks familiar, and people got so spooked they started burning theirs and throwing them out of fear. And of course, Simpsons already called it over 7 years ago in an episode where Homer buys a literal Pazuzu toy for Maggie and she gets possessed. Celebrities endorsing behavior with weird demonic undertones marketed towards the youth has disturbingly become just another Tuesday in the 21st century. I do not claim any of this negative energy, and don't worry, neither do you.
That's crazy. It was on The Simpsons. Simpsons don't miss.
We can see God's dwelling place from here on Earth. This is the North Star. Everything circles the North Star, and it has never moved. The Georgia Guidestones prove this. You could have looked through this hole at any time of day, and Polaris was always there. They were conveniently destroyed. Ancient.
Okay, I got one question. Because over here we do the deep dives. Is it said that we're moving through the vast cosmos at an alarming speed? Then somebody explain to me why the North Star never moves. Just a question. Remember, this is entertainment purposes only. None of what we say over here is factual. We encourage you to do your own deep dive.
Star maps also prove this, as well as the pyramids. Here's a picture I took of the North Star. Notice how it's a triangle. The North Star is also called Polaris, which means heaven. Here's a page from my 1863 illustrated Bible. This is Judgment on Jerusalem. Look at what's doing the judging. A sky triangle with beams of light coming out of it. Now, during the Festival of Tabernacles, remember, they were camping in these triangular tents. And then I started to notice that in artwork, God the Father, or the Trinity, is always within a triangle. So the North Star emanates the northern lights. This is a piece of lost knowledge, as you can see here. Then the cloud covered the tent of meeting, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. Moses could not enter the tent of meeting because the cloud had settled on it, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. During the Feast of Tabernacles, or Sukkot, there's this ritual that's done to celebrate, where they would climb atop a very tall pole and light a light so that everyone could see it. And remember, the North Star is the pole star. It's directly over the North Pole. So this to me seems to mimic and honor what we have always known about God, that he is at the center, right above us, watching us.
Try the gummy worm fruit. Right here we have Cecropia.
There are so many things out there that I would never eat for 1 million.
Okay, look, bruh. Like, there's a lot of things out there in the world that are interesting. There's a lot of things that are beautiful in the world. I mean, pandas are very cute. They're very cuddly. But I'd never want to see one in person. Just saying. Silverback looks amazing on the screen. I don't think I want to be hanging out in the jungle with a silverback. I mean, we used to go to Boy Scouts and they give you a little pamphlet book that tells you about all the plants and stuff in the area and things you can eat and what you can't eat and stuff like that. Do anybody remember those days?
$1 million, but this right here is not one of them. I would 100% eat that. Up until today, this is a fruit that I had no idea existed, but this guy is showcasing it. His name is Zane's World, so shout out to Zane's World. And what's being consumed here is known as a Cecropia fruit. Most of you watching this video probably have never seen these before, and that's because they're native to Central and South America, and they're really well known for this long, slender finger shape. Oftentimes, they're referred to as gummy worm fruit because of how floppy they are, as well as their texture, and it's actually really satisfying watching people harvest these because you kind of just pull them off the stalk and then eat them. They're also described as having a fig/raspberry type of texture with those small seeds, if you know what I'm talking about, and then a honeydew-like flavor. So, you know, I actually really want to try one of these. I wish they sold these at stores. Zane, I'm mad jealous, man. If you could please just mail me some of these, hit me up, I'll give you my address.
I had a buddy in Florida actually almost get me a tree, a Cecropia fruit tree a lady was selling, but in my climate.
Oh, I like the shout out jet ski. Yo, Chuck, good luck, man. The microphone is awesome, man, and I took it from a page out of your book. Thank you.
It'll be extremely hard to maintain it because it snows here.
There's this idea in conspiracy theory, and I'm sure you've heard it if you've watched InfoWars or been in this sphere for a long time. It's sort of a form of predictive programming, but the idea is that these groups, these satanic occult groups, have to tell you what they're going to do before they do it in some form of ritualistic cleansing of their guilt. That by telling you what they're going to do, they therefore can do it with impunity. This is an aspect of the ritualistic process, where you have to let people know by signs or symbols or predictive programming stuff in TV. I think what it has to do with is, as we know, abuse or control of an individual or a small group like a cult or a nation. You can use the same techniques to a person as you can to a nation. And it has to do with getting the person to go along with their own abuse, to be a participant in their own abuse. And by getting the person that you're abusing, that you're controlling, to think that they're actually responsible for it, to think that it's their fault, then they become an accomplice as well as a victim to you. And it makes your control that much more solid. So the method of control for humanity is to get the person that you're trying to control to agree to and co-sign their own abuse. It's about morally being immune from blowback by getting your victim to go along with your exploitation and abuse. If I tell you I'm going to do this and you don't stop me, it's your fault. You can't blame me. I told you I was going to do this.
So this is 1968 on BBC. This is a year before the fake moon landing. They fucking told everybody. This is called...
You're going to make this happen?
No. We are going to make models much cheaper than we photograph the models.
Fake news reels.
That's fake news reels. For the past 10 years, people have been looking at our fake news reels and listening to our fake commentaries.
And they accept.
They tell us what they're going to do before they do it.
Understand this. Nobody makes you feel anything. Nobody makes you feel angry. Nobody makes you feel tense. Nobody makes you feel upset. You always decide how you're going to feel, and then if you're not careful, you will fall into a negative habit pattern of blaming the other person. Blame is the core of all negative emotions. When you stop blaming, you cut down the negative emotion tree. You cut it off, you kill it, and all the negative emotions die simultaneously.
Basically, he said you gotta cut people off. That's basically
Straight
what
up.
he said. You know, sometimes you can't bring those same people into a new season. That's what I'm learning.
This woman worked on Plum Island, where they create mutated animals. Watch
I don't know
this.
how long this is going to stay up. I might delete it later, but I used to work at Plum Island, Lab 257. Yep, at Lab 257. They told us animal research, just livestock stuff. Studying diseases to protect the food supply. That's how they always frame it, make it sound like we're doing something good. But the things I saw in that lab, the experiments, it wasn't about animals. It wasn't ever just about animals. First red flag, most of the people I work with either didn't ask questions or knew not to. Those who did ask too much, let's just say they didn't stay around for too long. Contracts pulled, cleared out like they never existed. We get shipments in the middle of the night, no labels, no records. I'm talking live animals, sometimes already mutated. Sometimes they weren't even species that we have names for. And I know that sounds crazy, but I've seen things that look like they weren't even from this planet. Creatures like something out of a movie. We weren't just testing viruses. We were engineering them. Modifying bacteria, adding genetic sequences that shouldn't even be compatible with human DNA. At one point, I was assigned to a project that involved ticks. Yep, those ticks. We were told it was a control study to understand how disease spreads. But what we really were doing was testing how to make it easier, more contagious, more invisible. A few months later, the first line popped up across the water in Connecticut just out of nowhere. Coincidence? Sure. Then there were the containment breaches. We weren't allowed to say the word leak. If something got out, we called it a displacement. You see a mutated deer foaming at the mouth on the shoreline, that's a displacement. You see some wild creature unalive looking like it got stitched together from 4 different animals, displacement. They always had an explanation. Always just enough to keep you paranoid but not empowered. That's how they quiet. I shouldn't be saying any of this. I've already seen 2 people disappear after talking too much.
I hope this woman stays safe because this is an insane story.
Well, I tell you what, if you know you ain't supposed to say nothing, the first thing you should probably practice is like not going on the internet. I mean, I respect the whistleblowers. We need them, right? To know what's really going on out there in the dark waters, right? But is the risk worth the reward? Especially when nobody really wants, well, especially when so many people refuse to wake up, refuse to even give just that a thought that it could be, you know? Is the reward worth it when scientists go missing or they get unalived? Is the reward worth it? Well, over here on this channel, we say, hell yeah. Let's wake everybody up. It's better to know than to not know. Let me know so I can make my own judgment. But over here, the one thing we do is we do our own studying.
In their own aliens here on Earth. Oh my goodness, I heard a crazy theory that what if all these aliens, like how they got all these gray suits and stuff, what if they're taking demon souls and they're putting them inside these gray aliens? That's why they're lifeless and robotic like. They really don't have a soul. They say they're hive-minded, like Legion.
This guy's shocked to find out what they've been doing to our food. Check this out.
What happened to bread, guys? Because I do not remember bread ever being like this.
I don't either.
Squishing it just doesn't feel like it's real bread.
Uh-oh, Walmart. You know how we do over here. You up the bet.
I just squished this. It should be completely demolished.
Yeah, it sprung back like a sponge. Yeah, you know all the chemicals in that is not good.
Applying pressure. This comes back up. What is in the food that they are feeding us?
Explain that, mama. Now I will say this, man. If you got any of these places like Trader Joe's and these farmer markets, I encourage you to go to the farmer markets for your bread and your fruit, and it's a lot of dark stuff that goes on. And this right here is well, I don't know, maybe this is sponges, camera work, right? They can't really be doing this, right?
The bread I remember used to not do that.
Not even squished. Just coming back up as if it was not squished.
Hey, I got a question. Does your bread still smell like wine after a while when it goes bad? Or does your bread stay just like that no matter how long you leave it? This is all for entertainment purposes only. We're just asking questions.
This guy's shocked to find out what they've been doing to our food.
See, that's why we gotta make our own bread. We might have to start investing in a bread maker or something. Start doing our own banana bread recipes and, stop giving them our money to get this poison. We gotta start eating healthy. I need to start getting on my shakes. You know what? I think I might make a strawberry smoothie today.
Apparently, if you mix pine needles with sugar water, you'll get a carbonated soda that tastes like Sprite. When I heard about this, I had to try it out for myself, and that's what we're going to do today. So first I added some needles from a white pine, now a couple spoonfuls of sugar, then I'll fill it up with water, leaving some space at the top. And I'm using flip-top bottles for this that can handle high pressure. Then I'll give it a good shake. I'm also going to try a batch using some maple syrup I made. I'll use this instead of the sugar. I'll add a couple spoonfuls, then I'll give that a shake. Then I'll let these sit for 3 to 5 days. So I have some bottles up here that have been sitting for 4 days. I'm going to break one of these open and see how it turned out. So far it's looking good and bubbly. The yeast on the pine needles ferments the sugar, then produces carbon dioxide, which is where the carbonation comes from. That's actually pretty good. It's not as carbonated as normal soda, but still pretty fizzy.
I don't know about that one. We might have to go back to the drawing.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to try it. I think we're going to have to go ahead and put that in there. Explain that, mama. I want to hear your explanation.
Bored on that one, guys. I don't think that was it. I don't know. If you gotta have a drink, you tell me. Does that work? Y'all got me messed up. Y'all think I'm about to be drinking that pine saw. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And I got some exciting news. Membership is now
This is one of my new favorite camping snacks. And all it is applesauce. Modified applesauce. Makes a great trail snack as is, or you can turn it back into normal applesauce very quickly. Crush it up in the package, then I'll add water to it and mix it up. Keep adding water as needed till it's back to its original consistency. Tastes just like it did before I freeze-dried it. After this applesauce is freeze-dried and packaged, it should last for around 25 years in storage, even though I'll use it long before then on my camping trips. 99% of the moisture will be removed, significantly reducing its weight. And the more lightweight your food is, the more you can carry. This is one of my new favorite camping snacks.
That's actually a great idea.
I like that.
25 years and it jumps back to applesauce. If stuff hit the fan, you could have some good currency for applesauce. You're like, man, I got these freeze-dried applesauce bars. What do you got for me?
You guys are so
You can barter
great.
with the freeze-dried applesauce. Which I caught these 3 fish. Oh, here's an applesauce bar. How versatile. I wonder if you could do the same thing with like strawberry sauce or like, I don't know, like say if you did different flavors. I kind of want some applesauce. Some strawberry mixed applesauce sounds good. Cold. Woo-hoo.
Europe does not make you fat no matter how much you eat. I was in Portugal and Spain for 2 weeks, eating whatever I wanted, bowls full of pasta, pizza, desserts, pastries, the whole 9 yards. I was drinking most of the time. I worked out a grand total of 0 times, and I gained 1 pound in 2 weeks, eating whatever I wanted, no exercise, drinking often. If I did that in the United States for 2 weeks, I would have put on 15 pounds of bloat and I would have felt like absolute garbage. But in Europe, I didn't have hangovers, I didn't feel bloated, I didn't have any indigestion, nothing. Which begs the question, what is in the food and the drinks in the United States? I would eat a full bowl of pasta in Lisbon, Portugal, with a personal pizza, down the entire thing with a beer or two, and walk away feeling fine. And I gained no pounds over 2 weeks. What kind of poison is in American food and alcohol to make us so bloated and gain weight way easier than in Europe? Oh, in Europe, you probably walked way further. I got like 7,000 steps a day in Europe, which is less than I get in Tampa. And I just don't understand how you can eat whatever you want in Europe because the ingredients are that much cleaner, and American corporations and restaurants and chains have no
I
interest
think it's a lot of the
in
yeast.
copying this.
It's a lot of
and
yeast
mimicking
and
the
like
ingredients. It makes you think why,
bleaching,
knowing that European food is healthier,
right?
why American companies wouldn't cheat food in Europe.
Yeah, I hear Europe has amazing food. Like, they don't use all the...
Never been there. Love to go and see what's going on. We're gonna pause here, and I'm gonna switch over to another person.
Topics on this joint.